Imagine a man who gave 30 years of his life to one dream, only to walk away from it empty-handed. Imagine the heartbreak of sacrificing everything, your youth, your health, even your family's time, just to realize the dream no longer wanted you. That man was Daniel Carter, a struggling single dad, who thought his story ended in defeat. But sometimes, life takes everything away, only to give back something far greater. Daniel had once been the boy with stars in his eyes, dreaming of the sky. He had wanted to be a pilot since the day his father took him to see his first airplane at an air show. For 30 years, he devoted himself to that world, studying, training, working as a mechanic, then climbing into smaller flying jobs, always waiting for the big opportunity. But dreams, as beautiful as they are, can sometimes be cruel. A downturn in the industry, his lack of connections, and a single mistake in his late 30s cost him his one chance at a commercial airline career. By the time he was 52, Daniel had nothing left but debts, a small rented apartment, and his teenage daughter, Emily, who had stuck by him through every storm. Emily was his reason to keep breathing. After Daniel's wife left when Emily was just a child, saying she was tired of living with a failure chasing dreams, Daniel poured all his love into his daughter. He worked odd jobs, janitorial shifts, handyman work, delivery driving, anything that could keep food on the table. But when Emily asked one night, "Dad, why don't you just let go of that dream? It hurts too much," Daniel realized she was right. So he quit. 30 years of reaching for the sky, and he set it down gently, burying it with quiet tears. Life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. Daniel took a bus ride one evening, trying to clear his thoughts, and ended up traveling farther than he planned, out to the countryside. He stepped off at a dusty stop and wandered the dirt road, the smell of fresh hay and earth filling the air. It was there he first saw her, Sophia Hayes. She wasn't the kind of billionaire you'd expect. Not the polished city type with glass towers and diamond necklaces. No, Sophia was standing in muddy boots, her hair tied back, commanding workers on her vast farm with strength in her voice. She was wealthy beyond measure, owning acres of land in one of the most successful organic farming businesses in the country. But what Daniel noticed first wasn't her power, it was her kindness. She was laughing with a young boy who had dropped his basket, helping him pick it up herself rather than scolding him. Daniel might never have spoken to her, but fate has a funny way of pushing people together. He heard the cry of a calf from the field nearby, tangled in a broken fence, and without hesitation he ran to help. Years of strength from working odd jobs had kept him fit, and he freed the animal quickly. Sophia had seen everything. She walked up, her eyes curious, and asked with a smile, "You a farmer?" Daniel shook his head. "No, ma'am. Just someone who couldn't stand by." Their conversation began there. She invited him to stay for dinner, and for the first time in years, Daniel ate fresh food at a long wooden table surrounded by laughter and warmth. Emily, when she joined, was welcome too, and her eyes sparkled with a kind of hope Daniel hadn't seen in a long time. Sophia admired Daniel's honesty, his hard work, and the way he listened. He admired her strength, her independence, and her ability to carry wealth with humility. But love never comes without challenges. Daniel, haunted by his failures, struggled to believe he was worthy of Sophia. When her wealthy friends visited from the city, he felt small, invisible, even mocked. Emily overheard someone whispering, "Why is Sophia wasting time on a washed-up single dad?" and it broke her heart. Daniel wanted to walk away, convinced he was only embarrassing Sophia. Sophia stopped him. On a night beneath the stars, when Daniel was ready to say goodbye, she took his hands and said firmly, "Daniel, you spent 30 years chasing the sky. You think you failed, but what you really did was show your daughter the meaning of persistence. You taught her never to give up. And now, you've taught me something too, that love isn't about wealth or status, it's about courage and honesty. Don't you dare think you're not enough." Slowly, Daniel allowed himself to believe her. He began working on the farm, first fixing fences and barns, then helping organize shipments. He discovered joy in the simplicity of the land, the smell of soil, the rhythm of hard labor, the peace of sunsets over golden fields. He wasn't flying planes, but he was building a life, one that made Emily proud and filled with laughter. Sophia, too, grew closer, until one evening Emily whispered with a grin, "Dad, I think she loves you." Months turned into a year. What started as a chance encounter blossomed into something Daniel thought he'd never find again: love, respect, and a home. And when Sophia finally told him, "Daniel, I don't need another billionaire by my side. I need you," he felt the 30 years of loss wash away like rain off his shoulders. So yes, he had given up his dream job after 30 years. But in doing so, he found something greater, a love he could never have imagined, a family stronger than before, and a life filled not with regret, but with gratitude. And maybe that's the message for you, listening now. Sometimes the dreams we chase are not the ones meant for us. Sometimes we lose what we thought to find us, only to discover who we really are. If Daniel could walk away after 30 years of heartbreak and still find love, peace, and purpose, so can you. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us, life's endings are often just new beginnings. The old clock on the wall ticked louder than usual that evening. Daniel Carter sat at his kitchen table, the bills scattered like an army ready to bury him. His hands, once strong and steady, trembled as he tried to add numbers that refused to make sense. Rent overdue. Car repair. School books for Emily. And his job, if he could even call it that, barely covered groceries. 30 years. 30 years chasing a dream that had left him with nothing but debts and disappointments. He closed his eyes and let the memory wash over him. The first time he saw an airplane take off, the roar shaking his little boy heart, the sky opening wide as if to whisper, "Daniel, this is where you belong." He had lived for that dream. Every decision he made was for that dream. He studied harder than anyone in his town. He worked at the airport cleaning hangars just to be close to planes. He trained, he tested, he applied. And yet, life had always found a way to shut him out. He could still hear the words of the recruiter who'd once looked at him with pity. "Daniel, you're talented, but you're not connected. We've got younger candidates with the right references. In other words, you don't belong here." His wife had left years ago, packing her bags with the cold finality of someone who had grown tired of waiting. "I can't keep living like this, Daniel. I need stability. You need to stop chasing fairy tales."